This book is about how ordinary people make extraordinary change. It's not about politicians or CEOs of large companies who are already bestowed with enormous power and responsibility. It's about how your teammates, your neighbors, and you yourself can mobilize the people around you to bring your visions to life. So how does that happen? 5 minutes after 19-year-old Manal Rostam switched seats with her cousin on a bus from Cairo to the Red Sea, the bus blew a tire and swerved into the desert, rolling over 3 times. Manal was okay, but her cousin Mohammed was instantly paralyzed. He died 3 weeks later. This shook Manal to her core. Her faith helped her cope with her grief and trauma, and although she had been only moderately religious before the accident, the experience strengthened her relationship to Islam. 2 years later, although it wasn't necessarily expected by her family, Manal decided to wear the hijab, a traditional Muslim head covering. It was a way to say thank you to God, she told me, for giving me a second chance to live. Manal wore the hijab for the next 14 years. While she faced some criticism from Westerners who were either unfamiliar with the hijab or believe it is oppressive to women, she generally felt accepted in Egypt and Kuwait. And then something changed. More and more women she knew stopped wearing the hijab. Anti-hijab articles started appearing in the media, and in Dubai, where she lived, Muslim women in hijab faced criticism and were not allowed into some public spaces. Manal didn't judge others negatively for choosing not to wear the hijab, but she felt for herself and many other women that wearing the hijab provided a sense of connection to their faith. I had a moment of epiphany, she said. If I was to give in and just follow the crowd, then how would anything change? I felt like a dead fish who was just going to go with the flow, but then I decided I wanted to go against the current. I wasn't a dead fish. In 2014, Manal started a community of women to support each other through a group on Facebook called Surviving Hijab, a name she chose because that's what she felt she was trying to do. That night in April, she invited 80 women, mainly her friends and family, into the group. When she woke up, she found the group already had 500 members. Within months, the community had grown to more than 40,000 women who supported and encouraged one another to be proud of wearing the hijab. Today, just 3 years later, Surviving Hijab is nearing 600,000 women from around the world and clearly fills a need for hijabi women to have a supportive community. Manal's desire to take action has created a movement. With so many supporters behind her, Manal knew that more was possible. In addition to her job at a pharmaceutical company and her role leading this community, Manal is also an athlete, an avid runner. She faces even more criticism as a hijabi athlete, with people constantly asking her things like, "Won't you be hot running in all those layers?" She is often the only hijabi runner in races she competes in, and has seen it as an opportunity to help reduce stereotypes of Muslim women. But she wanted to do more. On the recommendation of a friend, and with the support of all the women in Surviving Hijab behind her, Manal wrote a letter to Tom Wolfe, the head coach for Nike in the Middle East, titled Nike Middle East Veiled Women Runners. In it, she described her community of women and how she wanted to empower them to be active and to do sports, even in the hijab. The reason why I'm contacting you is because I have noticed that all pics featuring the Nike Club runners have no veiled women in them, she wrote. It's the Middle East. Shouldn't we have some? When she hit send, she was terrified. But her terror was unjustified. Not only did Tom reply, he said, "Thank you for your email. Its timing is perfect, and I have been having similar conversations with the Nike team here. How are you set to meet at 3 p.m. tomorrow?" Of course, Manal agreed. And just 2 months later, in January 2015, Manal became the first hijabi woman featured in a Nike ad campaign. In March 2015, Nike invited Manal to become the first coach of an all-women's running club in Dubai. And finally, in March 2017, Manal was invited to Nike headquarters in Dubai for a big surprise. The company was announcing Nike Pro Hijab, a line of athletic wear for hijabi women that would launch in early 2018. When she heard the news, Manal says she broke down in tears for every struggle that she'd read about on surviving hijab. It was magical, she told me. It was the first time that a multinational brand said they would cater to this segment of Muslim women. That swoosh gives us power. Nike highlights on its website how Manal and other Muslim female athletes tested prototypes of the product for features like fit and breathability, and also gave important cultural feedback, like the fact that it had to be completely opaque. And though Nike was not the first company to make a hijab for Muslim women athletes, having such a big brand behind her gave Manal an enormous sense of accomplishment. She felt that she and others in Nike Pro hijab gear could be role models for young girls who would now see that it's possible to both support your faith and achieve all that you want to do in the world. Manal learned that a shared purpose can help a community overcome stereotypes and drive change.